hostess with the most, Jennifer, as always. Happy Monday, welcome to a new week. So we are going to be talking about a movie that I first initially heard about from my sister from another Mr. Jen and my nephew Christian from Jen's Reviews from the Grave. This is going to be a review on Transfiguration. Yes, I'm finally doing a review on this, finally watched it a couple weeks ago. So thank you, Jen, for doing this review, because finally I've checked it out, and let's crack into it. So this is actually streaming on Netflix right now. Now, this is a horror movie, but it's not your typical, your usual type of horror movie. This is definitely one that's a little more along the lines of, like, say, Found, or The Horseman, where it's not really like your, like I said, your typical horror movie or traditional horror movie, but it revolves around some, like, pretty horrific things, some pretty horrific thoughts, and very much sort of like how Found is. Like, I know Jen and Christian were kind of bringing this up. It's very much like a coming-of-age story, and it is. It definitely is. We're introduced to this young boy who is kind of, like, fixated on, like, vampires and everything, and, like, blood, of, like, maybe cutting people up, not necessarily cutting them up, or, like, giving them, like, slits on their wrist, or cutting them or something, just so he can kind of, like, taste their blood, or drink their blood. And he has a lot of, like, thoughts of this and everything. Sometimes we, see him kind of, like, around a body or something that has a deep wound, and, we see him kind of, like, tasting the blood. And the next thing, it's like someone comes in and is like, "What are you doing?" And it's like, he kind of shakes out of it, and you realize it was all in his head and everything. So he kind of lives in his head a little bit and everything. And I feel like that is because, we get a sense that he might not have the best upbringing. Like, his family, his family that we see a little bit of, doesn't seem like a horrible family at all. Like, they don't really seem to, like, mistreat him or anything. But at the same time, like, where they live and everything is not, like, the best place to live. There's some gang activity and everything. So I think that has some, like, influence on him and everything. And maybe it's just, like, his way of dealing with things. He ends up befriending this young lady. They're talking and everything. And, she kind of wants to get away herself. But she can't, because she's young herself. She's, like, a teenager. She's a young teen. She says how, she's got relatives in, like, I don't know, Arizona or New Mexico or something. I forget exactly where, and she really wants to go maybe live with them, but she doesn't have money. The kid says, like, "Oh, well, I've got, like, $1 million. I'll give you some, I'll give you some." And it just, we kind of see, like, their, relationship sort of, like, blossom a little bit. They start becoming, like, boyfriend and girlfriend and everything. And he kind of, because of this girl, he does kind of see, like, okay, there is good in this world. That there is, like, good people in this world who kind of, like him, maybe wants to get out of this environment and everything. And the nice thing about it is that, I won't, like, spoil, like, everything, you guys, I'm sorry. But, it's kind of nice to see that, he, likes this girl enough, and it, like, appreciates her enough to be, like, kind of brought into, her life somehow, that he actually ends up giving her some money, to go ahead and, go visit and live with, like, her friends or family, wherever. And, it's kind of nice to see and everything. I know she tries to, like, call him and stuff to, like, thank him and everything, because she didn't really get to do that before she left. And honestly, too, like, the end, I mean, it had me a little choked up. It had me a little choked up. Not totally in tears, but a little, oh, man, a little choked up, And I was just like, man. But no, this is, I really enjoyed this movie. I'd give this about an 8 out of 10. I mean, this is not necessarily, a type of horror movie, I should say a subgenre of horror movies that I'm always, like, gung-ho about, because you guys know I'm much more of, like, a traditional straight-up horror person, but this was definitely a really good one, especially I feel like if you guys really did enjoy something like Found, you guys would definitely enjoy this one. It's not quite as, like, in your face. I don't want to say gory, but just kind of like in your face, like relentless, and just will get you in the gut and everything. I feel like it's a little more level headed. Like the kids are a little more level headed in this. It has a little, I feel like some like issues, maybe a couple of mental issues, but it's not like the same sort of mental issues as the kids in Found. Like I said, it's just, I feel like it's just more of like the environment rather than nurture in this case. So like that's the thing. The Found Found movie is definitely, I feel like that was caused by much more nurture. This one in this movie, Transfiguration, is definitely much more of the nature, I guess, kind of the environment of why this kid might be a little kooky in the head, might, is kind of the reason why he sort of lives in his head and is like obsessed with vampires. It's almost his way of like wanting to somehow get revenge on like the outside world that he knows, that, like get revenge on like all these just like shady people and everything that he's always got to like watch out for whenever he's walking down the street and everything. And maybe his own way of trying to, be like protecting his family and now his new little love interest and everything. So, and also too, I feel like, this kid definitely has some fears of death himself. So kind of like being a vampire is sort of his way of dealing with that. He's kind of like, well, what really happens to us after we die? So it's just, it's just little things like that that are beautifully done in this movie. As my sister would say, it's a charming movie. The kid's charming. The cast is really good. I like the cast. I think it was, everyone did a really great job and everything. So, but definitely check this one out. Like I said, it's not your traditional horror movie or anything. So if you're kind of going into it thinking like you're gonna get, like a straight up classic horror movie, not so much. But definitely, for those of you who enjoyed the movie Found, I know that quite a few of you did. You will definitely enjoy this movie. It is right up your alley. Like I said, I'd give it about an 8 out of 10 for this movie. So check it out. Let me know what you guys think of this movie. I know quite a few have seen this movie already. Go ahead, leave me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Till next time, as always, you guys stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.